These are the plaintiffs, Rochelle Bush and Lawrence Davis. Lawrence says the defendant, their former landlord, is acting like a real pain in the you-know-what and is playing a cat-and-mouse game with their security money. They've been trying to get their money returned for over a year. They're tired of the defendant's unscrupulous antics and are here in the name of all that is good, suing for the $2,000 they feel they're owed. This is the defendant, Gwendolyn Bryant. She says she had to have the plaintiffs evicted for failing to pay their rent. They finally vacated late. She returned a portion of their security, and they're now coming to court today seeking double that amount? Come on. She's accused of lackadaisical landlording. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $344 for unpaid rent and late fees.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Our next case in the docket, the plaintiffs say they're representing all that's good, and they are suing their landlord for stealing their security, but the defendant says the plaintiffs are deadbeats. It's the case of we are the champions.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Rochelle Bush and Lawrence Davis.
Yes,
you are
ma'am.
suing Gwendolyn Bryant, your former landlady, for $2,000 that you say she owes you, double your $800 security deposit, plus $400 for missed work, pain, and suffering. You have a counterclaim against him for $344 for costs associated with the eviction. Let's start with you folks. What happened here?
I don't know where to start. We moved out the 31st.
Yeah, don't start there. That's after court, after the eviction. Let's start earlier. You move in there when?
We moved in the beginning of 2016, January 1st, 2016.
Okay. And when do things start going wrong?
Around October.
And what happened in October?
October, I sent her a partial rent because I accidentally put the wrong money order in the mail. Gave her cash because she said it was okay. The money order got lost in the mail and came back to us. At that time, it was late. We resent it. It got lost in the mail again.
How does it get lost? How does stuff get lost in the mail over and over? Did you have the wrong address?
Well, this time it came back as return to sender, unable to forward.
Were you writing it to the wrong address?
No.
Let me see the envelopes for both. Do you have both?
That's just the last one.
That's just the last one?
Yes.
Want to confirm that that's your address? P.O. Box 734?
Yes. That's the original envelope that was sent. I'm under the impression that maybe her P.O. box was not being paid.
I don't know where you get that impression.
Because it came back to us.
Okay. So in any event, you send a money order to make up the difference, and the money order never gets there, and so what does she do?
Sends a late fee for October. Because that took so long to get back, that did not get back to approximately sometime in November. I went ahead and sent her November's rent, and the whole time we were in communication, and I told her I don't know where the envelope is, and I not only can I not afford it, but I won't send October's rent again if it's somewhere float. It is a money order floating somewhere out there in the mail. So she took us to court for October's late fee and November's late fee. Right before we went to court in November for the two late fees, that came back. We took that to the judge. He dropped everything. At this point, she had...
Actually, you folks enter into a stipulation in court, right? An agreement. Okay. Does anybody have that agreement?
With the original...
Oh, actually, maybe it's not an agreement. It's not really entitled an agreement. Anyway, here's the court order. This is on December 7th or 9th?
Right.
And it says that you will pay November $500 and December... What's the rent every month?
$800.
Okay. That you would pay $800 for December and $500 for November. And then did you ever get October's?
Most of it, yes.
Eventually.
Yes.
Wait, what does most of it mean?
Well, the thing is, for October, they paid $300 in cash, and they said they sent me the other in the mail. But on the letter that they sent me, they put a name on there, and they didn't send it to a P.O. box. They sent it to 734.
How do you know? Where's the envelope?
Well, he sent me a picture of it.
Where's the picture of it?
I don't have a picture of it.
Did you send it to, just be honest, did you send it 7:34?
The first envelope?
Right,
yes.
so then your rent was late. All right, and so then what happened? And it's your fault.
Right. Now,
This one I don't get.
Oh.
Why did this happen?
Don't
Did
know.
you not pay your P.O. box fees? Or?
I've never not paid my P.O. box. Never.
So does it make sense that you would send two things to the same person and both would get lost in the mail?
I mean, to be honest, I've had a couple of slip-ups with the mail at some point, but at the same time, there comes a point when those things just don't add up.
What do you say?
I think one maybe makes sense, but two in a row, that's kind of hard to believe.
It is kind of hard to believe, don't you think? What do you say?
I don't think so. My grandfather just retired from the mail system for 20 years, and he never had any issues with it.
I love that he's got this kind of pride. I think that's awesome, going inside the courtroom.
So when you say that in October they paid most of it,
They paid
you feel
$300.
how much?
300 of the 8, and then the 500. They said.
So
was
then once
floating
you're in
around.
court, that $500 money order got into your hands, right?
No.
She
never
didn't
showed
show
up.
up.
Oh, you didn't show up for court?
No.
I didn't show up for the hardship case, which I
That
didn't
was
have
it.
to.
Wait, back it up. What do you mean the hardship case?
Well, I showed up for court.
And did you get a judgment?
Yes. So then.
Do
they
you have
filed-
that with you?
Yes.
May I see it?
Sure.
What did you put it back on calendar for?
I'm sorry, I don't know what that means.
Okay. You requested a hearing, correct?
Yes.
After you
No,
got...
she requested a hearing.
No, she requested an eviction.
She requested an eviction.
Were you
plus-
there when she got this original judgment that she's handing me?
No, I don't know what that is.
You guys didn't show up for that.
We don't know what
showed
that
up.
is.
Yes.
I showed
Rochelle
up for
showed
court.
up.
Rochelle showed up.
right,
Yes.
right.
Okay, and on that day, what it says that the tenant has failed to pay rent in the amount of $744, basic rent of $500, late charges of $150, and filing fees, and a warrant of removal was entered.
Yes.
So you won. You got exactly what
Yes.
you wanted.
Yes.
And then what happens? How does it get back on court for hardship? Because hardship implies you guys are saying I can't afford to pay this.
It was only to stay till the end of the month.
Right, because you want some. All right, so did you?
And we paid
Just a
December's
second.
rent.
Do you get noticed on the hardship?
Yes.
And then you didn't go?
They said no. I don't come.
Boy, I would go if I were you because they're gonna say I want to stay longer. I want to pay less.
Oh no! Well, with the hardship case, it's the judge would only let them stay a few months, or
A few months. Who's
Yeah.
paying the mortgage
No,
for those months?
They would have to pay rent as long as they paid the rent.
So you were just gonna leave it to,
Yes.
all right, so here's what happens. They say, the judge says November and December, and you can stay until December 31st, and you owe $1,300. And and you pay the $1,300 that day.
Yes.
Is that right?
That
Yes.
following week.
Okay, and you do get
Friday.
that.
Yes. I
Okay,
got
so
that on-
what part then, hold on one second. Was it November where all this rent was in question, or was it October?
October.
But then did they pay November?
Yes. In the
Okay,
in the
hold
beginning.
on, hold on. So then what, according to you, do they owe for October?
Late fees.
Okay, but this is what the judge said you were entitled to, and I assume you brought up the issue of late fees, and this is what happens when you don't show up to the hardship hearing. Late charges of $150. So I guess the judge decided they had to pay less.
Well, the judge, they said anything else, it's according to them, they could only pay what rent they were owed, but any fees I would have to take up in small claims court.
Can I see that in writing somewhere?
The late fees we felt didn't owe because it kept coming back, the letters, and I think that's what he showed. He felt as well too, and then with her not showing up with any
It'd be
defense.
nice if the judge actually explained why they were overruling another judge. Is it the same judge or two
Same
different?
judge.
Same judge. All right. I tend to agree with them on this then, because if it's the same judge, he sees his own order. And it sounds like, I don't know why, because it gives you two bites at the apple without her having to be there. So now you come in and then you show something she didn't show. I guess by the second time is when your money order came back.
right
Yes.
back,
That's
right
what it is.
before-
That's what it is. So that
showed up.
persuaded him, all right, let go of the late fees. All right. So you have a claim against her for $1,600 because according to you, you got none of your security deposit
None of
back. Now, interestingly enough, the laws of the mail cease to exist in both of your lives. You actually mailed them the security deposit, and it came back. Let me see that. Okay. Now, what is the address you are living at?
Laurel
Okay, so
Avenue.
what's 305 View Avenue?
Her place.
That's her place.
That's her. That's what we were renting
Wait, did I
for.
give you-
Right. So did you give her a new address to send the security
Why would
deposit?
we send it back to her?
Well, but it should be forwarded. Your mail would be forwarded. But it says return to sender, unclaimed, unable to forward. I don't even know what that means. Well, unclaimed means that you got a notice from the post office saying go make a special trip to the post office and pick this up, and then you didn't do that. That's what unclaimed means. In any event, so it goes back to her. May I open it?
Yes.
Ooh, what are we gonna see? What are we gonna see? And by the way, and the date on that is January 20th. Check it out. All right. Oh, actually, God bless you. You actually returned the full $800, even though you feel they owe you money. You didn't deduct it from
Well, because they said I'd have to do it in small claims. It wasn't,
God bless you. And according to you, they didn't leave until January 1st. According to you, you left on December 31st.
That's right.
Can either of you prove what you're saying?
We texted her on the 1st saying, where were you? Where come to get her keys? Well, that was
You texted her on the 1st what?
the 1st.
To say what?
Can you, what did you, we thought
Let
you
me
were-
see what you texted her on the 1st. Do you have it? Let's see it. When did they text you? They texted you the 31st or the 1st?
Looks like the first. I had a phone call from one of the tenants, said there's a truck out there and they're moving. That was on the first.
Can you prove that?
No,
Okay.
that's hearsay.
Thank you. Yeah, you text her on the 1st. Happy New Year's, Miss Gwen. When do you want to meet us for the keys? And that's at 3:11. And she says, Happy New Year to you too. I heard you were moving today. I would have met you today, but did not know how long it would take you to finish. I will be there tomorrow. You tell me the time. And then you say, okay, I'll let you know a little later. No problem. You don't say, no, we moved yesterday. All right. Here's how I'm going to resolve this case, okay? I tend to agree with you that coming in again and showing that you had, in fact, sent it meant that the judge found that it agreed with you because that's what it looks like when they, he knows what he signed first and then he knows how he changed it, and it sounds like he was changing it for that reason. What is not in here, though, and is not waived and cannot be waived because it wasn't her fault, is that $94 in court costs. So I'm going to order you to pay her the $94 in the court costs because the first error in sending the first thing that you sent, the problem was that you guys had written 7 whatever and didn't write the P.O. box. Right? You guys admit that, right?
Yes.
That you made that original mistake.
Yes.
Yeah, all right. So, but I agree with you that for some reason the judge seems to have been waiving the late fee anyway. All right, but not the court costs, which you're out having to file the case to even get this far. So you're entitled to the $94. You're also entitled for rent of $25 on that day of January 1st, and that amounts to $119. And we're handing you the money order for your security deposit, which is being returned in full. Okay? And that's how we're resolving this case. Good luck, folks.
So in a case that involved a lot of missed letters going back and forth and a lot of testimony, the plaintiffs come out. You really win to an effect that you get your security back.
Yes.
And you've got the mail order, right? Mm-hmm. You're walking out of here with it, so you're okay from that perspective. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. You happy living now in a good situation? You okay?
I'm better in my situation.
Very good. All right. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Yeah. Now, Ms. Bryant, who's the defendant, you were suing for $344. You got about $119 back. That's better than nothing, right?
Yes, it is.
And you found out that missing letter they finally got.
Yes.
Very interesting.
I thought it was interesting that they can sue for late charges and court fees, and it seems to be dismissed when it comes to me.
Yeah, well, that's the way it
You
is
have a
in
good
court.
one.
Thank you very, very much. Nice chatting with you. Harvey?
Okay, since this dude has a grandfather who's in the mail, what do you do if you really want to make sure that it gets there? How do you prove it? Oh, your grandfather would be so ashamed. What?
Certified mail.
Yes! Jeez, your grandfather shouldn't watch the show. Have him watch Judge Judy or something when this is on, going inside the courtroom.